in late '97. In '95, there was a show called the Mike Check Show on Hot 97, and it was hosted by the Furious Five. And that's when the personal things were happening in my life, and I was about to quit rhyming altogether. And I was telling my man Mark Caraballo up in the Bronx, up on he lived right there, right near Yankee Stadium. And I was at his crib, and I was like, Mark, I think I'm gonna quit. And he was like, Nah, man, chill, chill, chill. Um, you need to. There's this show. You got to call in. We got to call in. You got to get on. So we call, and they're like, What are the odds you're gonna get on the show, right? And the dude's like, Hot 97, who's calling? I'm like, yo, Breeze, wanted to, see if I could rhyme. And he's like, all right, let's see what's up. And they put me on hold, and then they open up the mic, and I get to spit. And then on the mic check show, the Furious Five would, if you caught a good if you caught a good flow, they would do this thing. They would just chant. Everything for them was a chant, right? They had chants for everything. So if you did a good rhyme, they'd be like, "You did your thing, homie. You did your thing. You did your thing, homie. You did your thing." Or if your rhyme was whack, they'd be like, "That was doo doo. That was doo doo. That." So you did not want to get that second one, right? So I remember having listened to the show before. Like I was nervous, but I gave it all I had, right? I was like, what do I got to lose? They told me to stay on the line. And then Mickey Benson, who was managing the Furious Five at the time, was like, they want you to come down to the studio next week. And so we go down there, and we're standing out in front of Hot 97, and we're super on time, but we're like, do we just walk in? And we walk in, and they're like, we're not expecting you. You can't come in. And so we start walking out, and then we see Melly Mel and all the others come in, and then we're like, yo, Breeze. And they're like, oh, Breeze from the other week? Come on, come with us, come with us. And they bring us up into the studio, and we're in the studio with the Furious Five. And then they started having me come in every week as like I was like their new school assassin. So anytime like somebody would come on and try to get lyrical on them with the new stuff, like they'd like, "Oh, Breeze,
You were
come
the
on."
young gunner. You were
I
the
was the
pit
young
bull.
gunner. I was the young
Yep.
gunner there, and I was there to do my thing, and I would be up there in the studio, and they would let me do the rhyme cipher with them at the start of the show every week, and every week Melly Mel would write a new rhyme for the show. This dude was so disciplined with lyricism, but to be in the room in the presence of that greatness. And at first, Flash was there just for like one more show, and then they kind of started going their separate ways with that. But then it was Tony Touch who was DJing for the Furious Five, and Angie Martinez was the engineer on the show. And so I got to spend a lot of time with all of these people early on, and that's what kind of brought me back into the music. And then um, eventually, I started rocking with Freedom Williams, who knew Melly Mel and the Furious Five. And then Freedom invited me to his studio, and he was putting together a rap group a la Wu Tang called the Black Knights, and they put together a 12-inch vinyl called "Who's the Black Man," and I got to drop some bars on that about riding over the Alps like Hannibal, and all this other stuff. Like it was like some uber righteousness, but it was good. From that, a group of us from the Black Knights spun off into the Hypodermic Needles, and that was with the homies from Elm City up in Connecticut, and it was me, Napalm Bomb, and Nondescript were the MCs. Sonata Virtuoso was the beat maker, and we dropped a single called Always. And so that's where the vinyl started to come. And then it was time for me to do my own vinyl, and that's when Cassius Clay Mac hit me with the Forsaken track. So I can't say I was completely out of the way. And dude, when history is this dense and there's that many brushes with greatness, it gets hard to keep it all lined up sometimes. So forgive me for being a little mixed up with it, but it has definitely been an interesting career to say the least.
Breeze.
Very interesting. I was gonna say
Allow me
like
to
at
just
one
say,
point.
like, even I can appreciate how fucking ridiculously, I think the entire anybody can appreciate how ridiculous it is First of all, everybody knows who Angie Martinez is today, so that was like a name drop that's relevant, right? Because she's on YouTubes and shit, you know? Like, people know who that is, right? That was, like, really, like, a significant thing. We all know who the five are, because, like, I mean, we all do. It's just, how do you not? It's impossible. You, like, brought up Grandmaster Flash just all casually. Like, he was there that one time, and then, you know, I'm like, what the fuck? And then you're on the radio busting freestyles. You're like their pit bull just to prove
Hot
that you guys
97
like
is a huge name.
huge name.
I was gonna ask. We still didn't get to Blaze Battle on HBO, right?
Nah.
Not even.
Yeah.
No, but this is just
which is like from a super hip hop head New York kid, you know, all the way. It was, to me, dumb. Like, that's like,
Hold up.
I
Somebody
look at
said
the,
idea there. You know idea? You
yeah.
bet like you
We knew each other. Yes, I can't say that he was a friend, but
no,
we
because
knew of
my
each other
guy
for sure.
Ismail, who's been watching this, fucking loves idea. So whatever you can say about idea would be a wonderful thing.
He's good people's, but it was never more than just a pound or what's up. Um, and I've heard good things that I can say for sure, you know. But the Midwest battle scene was coming up very differently than the New York one at the time, and it was another interesting scene, just like the New England scene was starting to develop also around that time in the late '90s, and they were starting the battle scene also. So you got Scribble Jam like blowing up with the Midwest and some of the southern states where underground hip hop was starting to bubble, and then up north it was the Super Bowl battles that would happen up at the Middle East, and a lot of those dudes like Sage Francis, who eventually then migrated
Oh
over to
my
the Scribble Jam circuit and started doing damage down there. I met Sage Francis in the streets of New York in those late '90 days. Like he was battling some like ducks up on in the West Village, and there was like more of them than him. So then, of course, you know, I stepped in and I was like, "Yo, let's go," and you know, it was us battling these other dudes, and then after that, he came with us. I think Lifelong was there too to BBQs or some. We had some lunch or some restaurant or something like that. We were just building on MCing and stuff like that. But he was like, he was just raw. Like he was like so raw MC, like just coming down from up north, like just in the streets battling dudes like that. Like I said, he could wear the title. He could say I'm an MC, and
like
he's got
Sage
somebody,
Francis.
yeah,
Yo,
who can
dude,
vouch for that.
when I first saw
Even though I
Sage
paid for his dinner
Francis,
that night, he never paid me back.
that's amazing, my guy. Sage Francis is huge for me, at least. I mean, look at me, my guy. I fucking saw Sage Francis for the first time. And like, cause yo, it was random as fuck. I discovered him by like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
guy told me about Escape Artist was the track in like 2012 or 13 or something, and I had never heard
Yeah.
anybody speed up on a hook like that. I was like, wait, you can go fast on the hook? Like you don't have to slow down the hook, and it blew my fucking mind. I got into that guy makes music for people like me. If there was ever a guy who makes music for people like me, it's fucking Sage Francis.